I'm now joined by Giorgi Imedashvili, a member of the Political Council of Coalition for Change, which is one of the four coalitions, one of the four pro-European coalitions in Georgia. Hello, Giorgi.
Hello, thank you.
I would like to start by congratulating you on getting elected to the Georgian parliament.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, with the results that we have, with the unfair election, the Georgian opposition refused to enter the parliament, so I was a member of parliament only for one day, maybe even maybe 12 hours. Mm-hmm. But thank you for the congratulations. Hopefully, when the fair elections will be held, I'll try to get elected once again.
So the official results say that the ruling party, the Georgian Dream, the pro-Russian party, got 54% of the vote, and each of the coalitions, each of the pro-European coalitions has around 10% of the vote. This result is not accepted by the coalition. It has been rejected by the president as well. We have plenty of international observers pointing out various violations. I think ISFED, which is one of the observing groups, said that this result does not reflect the will of the Georgian people. What do you do in a situation like this, where you have the government on the one hand and on the other the opposition and the president?
Yes. So the president of Georgia right now is the only elected official in Georgia that is on the people's side and is still in pro-European, because somehow the Georgian Dream has betrayed the Georgian people and turned their head towards Russia, not towards the European Union, as it was reflected in the Georgian constitution, but towards Russia.
Well, so they have, in the logo, they have, at least in this campaign, they had the stars.
They helped the logo to do that, but well, because they know that the Georgia society supports the European Union and wants to be part of the European Union. The support of the European Union goes beyond 80% in every poll in Georgia, which is, I think, highest even in the members of the European Union. And so they cannot declare that they are against the European Union because they want to get elected again. But of course, if they want to make a fake election, they need to show that they're doing something that people would like. Mm-hmm. So that's why they are saying that they are pro-European, but actions speak more loud than their statements, because they passed the Russian law, as we've seen several months. Well, whole spring there was a big fight between the two sides, right on the streets of Tbilisi.
And after the passing of that bill, the European Union actually stopped the accession.
Yeah, the European Union, there were clear statements from everyone from the European Union that it cannot be proceed with this kind of attitude from a Georgian Dream and with the passing of this kind of laws.
Mm-hmm. And going back to my question, what's the plan for now?
For the plan is refusal, first of all, so we will not accept the results. We are lucky that the president is on our side because she supports the Georgian society. She has the good relationship with every European Union member state leadership, and I think that it is very important now to coordinate some kind of joint reaction from the western part of the world, from our partners in the European Union and in USA and in UK. And I think the statement that was issued yesterday by the administration of the US president, that we should hold an international investigation, and now European Union and the US are negotiating how it can be conducted. I think it's an unprecedented issue, and it also says that our strategic partner, US, and our ally, European Union, they're still on the side of the Georgian people. They know, they understand that our will is different, and the fake election results that we have now don't reflect the society's real.
From what I understand, the plan now is to make a thorough investigation of what happened.
One big part of the plan is to refuse the refuse of the results. So we will not enter the parliament. We will not legitimize this and we will stand with our people who voted for us. If it's necessary to stand on the streets, we showed yesterday that we have enough people who can protest, because they know that they voted for European future for Georgia, and this future has been stolen. So, and we will not accept this. We will not legitimize the government. So that's the biggest part of the plan. The next part is that we will try to call for international investigation, of course, with the help of US and the European Union. And the third and final part of the plan will be that we have to have the new election with the new administration, not with
you
the...
mean if the investigation,
international administration.
if the investigation finds out that this election was stolen, then you'll have you should have another election.
Free election that under the new administration, which will be coming from the international background, with the help of the European Union, of course, because the European Union is something that Georgian people trust. And this is the well accepted in the Georgian society that we want to be the members of the European Union. We're the candidate member already. So we think that it is important for us to somehow show to everybody that this is not something that Georgian people want. And the protest is also part of it, because when we see how many of us are there and how many of us were somehow lied to, and some they practically have stolen our future, the future perspective of the membership. So I think this is something that will not be acceptable for the Georgian people, because they have the power, they have the power to also riot the protesters, because that's what they did for 3 months during the spring conflict between the sides. And I think Georgian people are not really afraid of them. And we have not been afraid of the Soviet Union either. So Georgia was, I think, the first country that openly protested against the Soviet Union and demanded freedom.
And do you think that the ruling party, the Georgian Dream, will allow this investigation to take place?
Well,
they are confident that this election was perfect. Everything was perfectly well with this election.
They are confident that they should say things like that, because Georgian Dream is not a political organization. Georgian Dream is an organization is run by one man with his own funds.
We're talking about
Imedashvili, which is a typical Russian oligarch who bought a bunch of people, and the Prime Minister of Georgia basically works for him. That's how, even if you see the official statements by the Prime Minister, if Bidzina Ivanishvili is present there, when he wants to start talking, he just looks at him, and when he somehow nods his head, he starts talking. That's the way they work. So this is not a political organization. And Georgian Dream says something that is coming from from that particular man, from Bidzina Ivanishvili. And with his words, Georgia is becoming the client state of the Russian influence and Vladimir Putin's. So I think whatever they say, they will change it in a second if Bidzina Ivanishvili will understand that this is not working. So when they're confident, they'll be confident as well when they'll call for the international investigation. What does it take to? Well, it takes protest, and also if we can be very, very tough as well, because we have to understand that these people will not react for the statements, and the West should be tough as well, because there was a perception in May that they will make the sanctions already active against the Bidzina Ivanishvili's government and himself. Then somehow there were some sanctions, but not personally on him and his cycle. And this was somehow a disappointment for the Georgian people. If they see that this investigation showed that the will of the people was stolen, he has to get the sanctions. And then these client members of his alliance will try to somehow turn back on him.
But
Because
so far the European Union, the Western world has been very cautious. They are calling for an investigation. On the other hand, we have, for example, countries like Hungary. Viktor Orban was the first one to visit following these elections. And we listened to his press conference today, and Viktor Orban said here in Georgia that he sees nothing wrong with these elections, that he sees no reports that convince him.
Unfortunately, there are many things in this world which are not a big problem for his eyes, right? Like we've seen also the statement of the Foreign Minister of Sweden just recently that Viktor Orban may speak for the Hungarian government, or may even speak for Putin, but he doesn't speak for European Union. So
although Hungary is holds the presidency of
the but that presidency is like based on the different rules. It's not that he was elected as something.
Of course, the European Union.
But by the way, this is something that GD does very well. If you watch their TV stations, you have a perception that Hungary was elected as some kind of leader of the European Union, as a leader country, and they'll do whatever Orban says. But this is a classic form of the Russian propaganda, and a classic example of it. And I think it is kind of disgrace, I think, when a member of European Union flies on the night of election to a different country just to be the first one to congratulate the government. And we've seen that the congratulations came only from the non-democratic part of the world, which is very sad to see, because Georgia was going towards the European Union. We were moving towards the democratic world, and now to see this as a huge step back for the Georgian society in general, I think it's very painful. But we know that we're not like that. We know that the government doesn't reflect the nature of the Georgian people, and I think we will try to change it.
I want to go back to one issue, because before the election, Giorgi Imedashvili said that perhaps the opposition should be banned. I'm wondering if you fear any prosecution. What's the feeling inside your party?
The feeling is that, yes, we are not afraid, we will not fear, but of course, something like that is always possible when you deal with people like that. For example, the 4 leaders of our coalition, right? So all of them were jailed at some point, and 2 of them were sentenced because of the political reasons. Nick Amelia in 2021, I think, and Nika Guaramia was also sentenced as when he was the head of the biggest broadcaster in Georgia, because he was not allowing the GD propaganda on his TV media, and he was a freedom fighter. And both of them were released only with the big influence of the European Union. In case of Nick Amelia, there was direct negotiation with the President of the European Union at that time, Charles Michel. And with Nika Guaramia, there was also a big political tension, and then the President pardoned him. And there are many awards that he got because of this political imprisonment.
So in other words,
of course, but that might happen again. So, and everybody who is involved, they understand what they are involved in, and that's why we don't want the political imprisonments to be part of this world again. We don't want to be back in the USSR. So that's why we are fighting for our European future and for our democratic future. This is one of the things that we've seen in our life. Unfortunately, not only during the Soviet years, but also afterwards, and we definitely want it to end.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I was joined by Giorgi Imedashvili, a member of the Political Council of Coalition for Change. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.